I think of RPA, I think of it as doing the boring things that we don't want to do. And that's why I put up here, eliminate boring. And we launched, I'll talk about it in a moment, but we launched recently our new advertising campaign around this tagline of reboot work. And so some of the speakers that you're going to hear from today, some from our company, some from our customers, a couple of partners who will be able to help you along the way, are going to talk to you about how they have eliminated some of the boring elements out of their job. You heard about some of the inventions that were up there. Now, I don't know whether, I'm a Mad Motoring fan, I don't know whether in years to come, RPA will be up there with the motor car. But you think about all of those things, they were all devices that took away things that humans didn't want to do. They didn't want to be hot, so we had air conditioning. They didn't want to travel long distances on foot, so we introduced cars. And RPA extends the workplace and takes away all of those boring characteristics that people want to do. So I encourage you to keep an eye out for all of those things as we talk on today. We really see this as the start of something that is going to be a multi-generational change in the industry, an automation-first era. I don't know if any of you have spent a lot of time with the post-millennial generation, but they're a really interesting bunch of people. The millennial generation, well, let's leave that aside for a little bit, but the post-millennial generation, they think automation first. Now, my kids are 10 and 12. When they're creating content, or when they're working at home, they look around for the things that have already been automated for them, and then they add people at the end, themselves or their friends. They don't have people generating a lot of this stuff and have tools come in and work on it afterwards. There is a wave of people coming through that are going to be thinking automation first. They don't have to be taught to think automation first. It's just how they're going to be thinking. So RPA is going to be a generational change. So if you eliminate boring, you get interesting. And so some of the things that you're going to see today, when you see a demonstration of UiPath, you're tempted to fall asleep because it's doing the stuff that you don't want to do. By its very nature, it's doing the boring stuff. But revel in that boringness. Look at the banality of it and wonder at how ordinary those tasks are. But at the end of each one, and while you're watching each one, just think to yourself, who'd rather be doing that, a bot or your people?
I guess the main point I would raise on that is just start. This is a process where you learn as you go. This is, as you mentioned earlier, this is the start of something much bigger than what we can see now. And really, don't try and overthink the medium term or the long term. Just begin with what you can see in front of you. And certainly, from our experience, those benefits will flow. You'll see those improvements. You'll see things that you hadn't expected, hopefully in a positive way. Some things will go wrong, but that's okay. That's part of that learning, part of that process. But certainly for us, implementation of RPA is really the beginning of the journey, not that end state. And I think that mindset is important. We do our students, we do our staff, we do ourselves a huge disservice if we didn't apply new technologies, if we didn't apply new ways of thinking, new ways of automating processes, because we would end up being left behind. We don't want our students to be left behind. We don't want our staff to be left behind. And we want to be able to use the savings that we make through automation to really do great things. It's not the savings in themselves that we're after. Nobody ever saved themselves to greatness.